So welcome, and we are on this is page number 99. So I'm going to go through the answers to these problems as a walkthrough on how to write chemical formulas and how to name chemical formulas. So again, this is page 99 in your notes book, right? Some notes for you to follow. So let's just get started right on our practice. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So we're going to write the chemical formula for each of the substances named below. The first step I want to do is I want to get the symbols. And how do I get the symbols? I get the symbols from the periodic table in table S. So I go to table S and I find that the symbol for sodium is Na. And now chloride closely resembles chlorine. So since I just have two elements and it ends in "ide," this tells me it's a nonmetal chlorine. So the next step that I need to do is I need to get my charges. And the charges I'm going to get from my periodic table, the oxidation numbers in the upper right-hand corner. So sodium is a +1 and chlorine is a -1. The sum of the charges has to equal 0. A +1 and a -1 add up to 0. So sodium chloride is all set the way it is. So I'll just rewrite it as NaCl. So now we'll do lithium fluoride. Symbols, charges. So lithium symbol is Li, and fluorine is fluoride. Remember, because the element changed its last name to ide when it chemically combines. So then the charges, lithium is a +1 from the periodic table, and fluorine is a -1 from the periodic table. So lithium fluoride just stands the way it is. So remember, if I have charges that are not equal to each other, I'll have to crisscross. We'll get to some of those. So now I have hydrogen and iodine. So quick look at my periodic table. Hydrogen can be +1 or -1 over here, right? +1 or -1. And iodine over here, right, has a bunch of different charges. Whatever one is listed first is the positive ion. Whatever one is listed second is the negative ion. So hydrogen is going to be our +1 instead of the -1, and iodine will be the -1. The nonmetals will always be negative because they gain electrons, forming negative ions. So they'll always be the anions. So symbols, H for hydrogen, and then I for iodine, and +1 -1 already adds up to 0, so no subscripts are needed. So now I have my symbols for magnesium is Mg. Careful, make sure you use table S, and bromine is Br. Bromide is going to be bromine, Br. So then I have a +2 and a -1. So +2 and a -1 from my periodic table. Let's make sure we'll double check. Right, here's magnesium, +2, and there's our bromine with a -1. Just want to erase those so I don't have to run into those later. All right, so I have symbols, charges. So now if they're unequal, now I'm going to crisscross applesauce, and I'm going to crisscross the charges. So I'm going to take this 2, and that will become the subscript of the bromine, and then it's going to be a 1 for the magnesium. So then if I'm going to rewrite it over here to the side without the charges, so it makes it look pretty, magnesium bromide. Right, I need 2 -1s that balances out the +2, right? Because a -2 and a +2 add up to 0. Now our symbols for calcium is Ca, and then oxide is going to be our element oxygen. And now calcium is a +2 and oxygen is a -2 from the periodic table. So since those charges are equal, I'm all set. My formula is good as it stands. Now let's go over here to potassium bromide. Our symbol for potassium is K. Our symbol for bromide is going to be our bromine, Br. This is a +1 from the periodic table. This will be the -1 from the periodic table. +1 and -1 are already equal, so they're all set. So hydrogen and oxide, remember hydrogen's listed first. That means it's going to be the +1 charge for hydrogen. And then from your periodic table, oxygen will be -2. So symbols, H, and then O for the oxide. And now I need a +1 for the hydrogen and a -2. Now I'm going to crisscross. That means I'm going to take this 2 and I'll bring it down here. and then the 1 comes across here, but we never write the 1s. So this is H2O, right? The common name being water. So now I have calcium and sulfide. So calcium is our symbol Ca, and sulfide will be the element sulfur. And from the periodic table, calcium is a +2 and sulfur is a -2. Since these cancel each other out already, no need to crisscross. It's good as it stands. So now I have to find aluminum and oxide. So aluminum will be the symbol Al, and oxygen for the oxide. Now charges, this is a +3 on the periodic table, this is a -2. So this is a +3, this is a -2. So now I have to crisscross. So these are going to take the 3, I'm going to bring this across here. I'm going to take the 2 and bring this down here. So then when I rewrite this, this is Al2O3, aluminum oxide, right? Because I have a +3 times 2 is +6, and I have a 3 times a -2 is -6. The sum of the charges equals 0, so my compound is complete. So now I have my symbols. Potassium is K, and phosphide is the element phosphorus, so P. So my charges, +1 from the periodic table and a -3 from the periodic table. So +1, -3. So now symbols, charges crisscross. So I'm going to take the 1, I need 1 phosphorus, and I'm going to bring the 3 down, and then now I need 3 of the potassiums. So then that's just K3P, right? Because I have a -3 and I have times a +3, and a +3 cancel each other out. So now that is how we do from the name to the formula. Now let's do the reverse. We're going to go from the formula to the name. When I go from the formula to the name, the first element always keeps its name. The second element, which is going to be the nonmetal, is going to change its last name. It's going to change the ending to I. So I have Li, so that's our element lithium. And again, you're going to make sure you're checking table S for your symbols to get your words. And then hydrogen will become hydride. And then those will get easier as you get more familiar. And we have Mg is magnesium. And then oxygen will become oxide. So now I have this element. So the first one keeps its name, zinc. And then the nonmetal changes the ending to ide. So chlorine will become chloride. So now I'll go here. Now I have the symbol Ca is calcium. And then fluorine will become fluoride. And I have Ag, so checking table S. So then this is, this is silver. And then Cl will become, chlorine will become chloride, so it's silver chloride. And then hydrogen. And then I will become, not iodine, but iodide. Right, and so that is how we go from the formula to the name and the name to the formula. And it'll get much easier, and keep practicing and make sure to ask questions from your teacher so we know that what you need help with. Until our next time, see you later.